Hello everyone, my name is Jifa and welcome back to my channel. So I hope you are well and you're staying safe, you've washed your hands, you're practicing social distancing and staying home when you can. I'm at work, it's the end of the day, so I wanted to take some time to go over, as the topic says, or the title of today's video says, what investment is in Africa, especially in Ghana, the types of investment, and what you need to be able to start investing in Ghana. So investment is basically money or something that you do to be able to create money or get money saved up for you for a future use, whether it's to buy a car, for pension, to get married, take care of your kids, take care of your family, or to sometimes even go on vacation or to buy yourself something that you really want that you can't afford currently. So there are various types of investments in Ghana and also in most African countries. So for example, in Ghana, we have the government-backed investments, which are the treasury bills and the bonds. So the treasury bills and the bonds are always time-based. So for example, in Ghana, for treasury bills, we have the 91 days, the 180 days, 184, and then the 360. So the 91 days is the 3-month investments, the 180, the 6-month, and then the 360 or 350 something, the 1 year investments. And there are always specific investment percentages attached to it. So currently in Ghana, I think you get like 14% averagely, almost 15% per annum on a 91-day investment. That means, let's say, if you put money down in a bank for 91 days rolling over each year for a whole year, you should get 14% of it. That means like over the period of the year per annum you get like 14%, which is what the rates are in Ghana, for example, and it goes higher as you go up. And the government-backed bonds, for example, is just when you loan the government money for longer period of time, so sometimes 5 years, sometimes 10 years, and it's always based on a longer period of time and sometimes more money as well. So in Ghana, for example, you can start a treasury bill with as low as 50 cedis, but for a bond in Ghana you need 10,000 cedis to be able to start, I think. Yeah, and bonds are normally 5 years or 10 years, but it's always for a longer period in time. And there are also the fund management companies like Invest Capital, Data Bank, and I'm not recommending any of those. Mind you, I'm not a finance person, so these are all based on my research. So yes. So yeah, there's Data Bank, there's Invest Capital, and there's all these other fund managers, mutual funds, and pensioning, and then also other investment companies where you give them your money and they invest it in other things. Some of them will most often tell you what they invest in. For example, when I used to be with Data Bank, they will tell you where they invest into, so like Fund Milk, MTN, Vodafone, other banks, and government bonds even. But some of them will also not tell you what they use your money for, and they just give you the investment if you're lucky at a point in time. You need to be very credible. You need to be very careful when it comes to these to check their credibility, because some of them are even credible, but their business acumen may not be up to par. For example, Gold Coast Management, which is Indum's investment company, had been around for a very long time, and yet we came to find out they were being mismanaged, basically. So you have to be careful of who you give your money to invest into for you. And there's also stocks. So in Ghana, we have these stocks and shares that come up, like MTN was the most recent one. We had the ADB, and there are also several companies on the Ghana Stock Exchange, like the Guinness Ghana, Coca-Cola. There's a lot on the stock exchange. I think Coca-Cola is there. We just need to do research and find one and create is it CSC or CES? I've forgotten what it's called, or SEC number. I'll go into detail and explain all these various types of investments and how you can get these investments done in a subsequent video. So you get these registrations done, and then you buy those stocks and shares. And you can also buy from other people and transfer these shares There's a whole way to go about that, and I'll explain that in other videos. And you can also do savings, like regular bank account savings. You just do have a savings account which accrues interest over a period of time, where you don't touch it and you just put money in there and forget about it. So you are just putting money together and saving it for a future use, whether it is to buy yourself something nice, to buy someone something, or whether it's an emergency savings account. An emergency savings account is basically expenses for like a 6-month period and putting that money away for future use. So you are basically just hoarding up money for the future. And you can also invest in new businesses. So you could decide to start a new company. You find something that you are good at, something you are talented in, and you turn that into something which brings you money. So maybe you realize you're handy with your hands. You can sew, you can braid hair, or you're passionate about makeup, or buy clothes and sell. Anything where you put money in and would eventually return for you interest and profit is basically what I'm talking about in this regard. And those are all ways to make money. So what you need to start an investment first and foremost is money. It does not matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how much or how little you earn. You need to be able to put money aside to be able to invest, because you can't invest if you don't have money. Money is what we need to invest. So I remember when I first came back to Ghana from living outside the country for a short while. In my first job, I earned 2,000 cedis. I looked at my expenditure and I had to put aside an amount of money where I would save each month. And one thing that you also need is patience. You need to be patient. You don't just start investing and get all these hundreds and thousands of cedis or naira or sefa or whatever your country's currency is. It takes time to build wealth. It takes time to grow wealth. So you have to be patient with how long it will take before you start reaping benefits on what you've put your money in, or what you've put your money into. And you also have to be knowledgeable. You need to do your research when it comes to investing. You need to do your research. You cannot just get up and give your money to someone without researching what the person is going to use your money for, how long they've been in existence, how credible they are, how knowledgeable they are, who can vouch for them, are they under the proper regulations of your country, do they meet all the standards that you want, are they someone that you can actually give your money to and go to bed sleeping easy knowing that they are keeping your money for you. You need to be very sure, because otherwise you fall for Ponzi schemes, and which is like scams. Like in Ghana, we had the men's gold saga where people lost hundreds and thousands, even millions of cedis because they fell for this get money quick scheme. So you have to be very diligent. You also need to set a goal. Why are you saving? What are you saving for? What are you seeking to achieve with your savings? You need to be diligent with your savings. What are you looking to save for? What is your goal for savings, for your investments? Is it to save X amount of money by the end of this year? For example, if your goal is to save 24,000 cedis by the end of a year, that means you need to try and put aside 2,000 cedis each month. So you need to find out what is doable for you based on your economic output, based on what you earn, what you are given. For example, what your allowances are, what can you afford to save. That is something that you need to do, because without a goal, then it will be very easy for you to falter, because then there is nothing really holding you accountable to what you are looking to achieve. There is no end goal in sight. So you need to know, are you saving for retirement? Are you trying to retire early? Are you trying to retire in your 40s, in your 50s? Are you trying to, let's say, buy a house or build a house? You need to set that goal so that you can work towards that. And you also need to be very, very disciplined. It's very easy to think about all the many things you could use your money for. You could buy that shoe, you could buy that dress, you could eat that food, you could splurge on a sweet, or you could spruce yourself up. But when you have a goal, you need to be disciplined. I remember when I first got back, I was earning 2,000 cedis a month, and I was diligent in saying 1,000% of my salary, which is 50% of my salary, I was not going to touch. It does not matter how hard I wanted, how bad I wanted something. It does not matter how much I craved something. I had to be disciplined and tell myself this money is going into a savings. It is for a savings for my future, for my future need. You never know what could happen down the line where you would need money. So you need to put money down for the future, and that's what I did, and I'm very grateful for that. And that is a habit I picked up from my mom. She's been saving since I can remember, and that's something I'm trying to teach my sisters, for example, and also hopefully teach my kids in the future. So that's something that you have to learn, but you have to be disciplined to be able to hold yourself back and decide that you are not going to spend that money. It may be nice to get that new shoe, but do you really need that new shoe? It may be nice to get a new dress, but if you are not naked, that new dress can wait. You have a goal. Maybe you want to buy a house, maybe you want to buy a car, maybe you're just trying to save up $1 million by 40 or 35, or 1,000,000 cedis by 30 or 45, and you need to be disciplined to be able to do that. You cannot achieve that goal by being indisciplined. It doesn't work that way. And another thing that you need to do is be able to bookkeep. You need to know where your money is going to, how your money is being used, who is using your money, how much you've earned. Just have an idea of what you've been able to accrue on your investment. Don't just invest for investing's sake, but know that the investment is bringing you back something, and it is something that is tangible for you, so that when you realize that your investment is not performing, you can quickly move it somewhere or someplace else where it will perform and give you the returns to your money. Because I mean, if your money is just going to sit down and may not make you any money, you're going to lose money on it, what's the essence of that? But in the same vein, for example, when you deal in stocks, I need to put that out there. When you deal in stocks, there will be a period of time where maybe your money would go down. You need to be able to do the waiting game. Know how long you can stick it out before you can see a return on your benefits. Sometimes the money will dip in the first year and bounce back up, especially in these times where like the corona crisis and the economy is tanking worldwide. You realize that most stocks are not doing that well, so you need to be patient, especially in these times, to watch the return on your stocks go back up. And some people will say this is a great time to invest in stocks now because the stock market is kind of low, so you'll be able to get in at a great time and get a good number of stocks for a bargain price. I mean, that's something we could discuss also in a subsequent video. And one thing that you also have to keep in mind of is that when you are investing, I forgot to mention it there earlier on, when you are investing, you have to be certain that you are choosing the right people. I think I mentioned it, but I didn't go into detail. So for example, for me, I used to have data bank, but I shifted. But for me, as a rule of thumb, when most of these banks now have investment portfolios as part of their offerings, which is something that they didn't used to offer to the general public. They only left it as something that was for the elites or those who had more money to spend. But now we have the opportunity where people like you and I can go into the banks and invest. For me, my rule of thumb is that I'm not going to invest with a company that's been around for less than 20 years because there's no track record for me, and I prefer a multinational company because I can trust that my money is going to be returned to me in case of a mess up. And that's mostly because of how poorly most Ghanaian owned investment companies have handled money and ended up going bankrupt, like the Gold Coast management situation. So for me, I feel more comfortable giving my money to a multinational company than I do giving my money to a Ghanaian company. But just do your research to find out which one is the best fit for you, your investment goal, your investment portfolio, your risk category, and what you need. And one thing that you also need is a bank account, especially bank account, because that's where you're moving the money to and from. especially if you are doing like the government bonds or the treasury bills. Most of the treasury bills and government bonds, if not all, I think all of them in Ghana especially, go through banks. So you can't go to the Bank of Ghana directly to buy the T-bills and bonds. I'm not sure. You have to buy it through a bank. And most of these banks will expect you to have a bank account. And for you to get the returns on your money, it has to be put in the bank account. So it has to be put into a bank account, even for dividends on stocks. So you need a bank account, and it's not that hard getting a bank account anymore. You will need some bills like electricity bill or water bill, and an ID, or if you have like the Ghana card or something now, you take it to the bank and then you can get a bank account. I think StanChart and EcoBank, most of these banks now even allow you to create a bank account on your phone without even have to go in person. Obviously, as you go along, you'd have to go register for the complete bank account in person, but you could now create a bank account on your phone, which is very easy. So it's something that we could definitely tap into. So yeah, I think that's that. To give you a fair idea of who I am and why I'm talking about this, I chanced upon comments under Patricia Bright's investment portfolio, which I'll link in the comment section. And I met some people talking from Ghana, also were Ghanaians, to see, at least it seemed from their names, talking about investments for Africa, and how even though it was good that she was sharing her knowledge about investments, it didn't really apply to us here in Africa or in Ghana because it's a bit different. Landscapes are quite different, so we need to be skewed more towards the African market. And I'm 28. I've been investing since 2010. Since my second year in university was when my mom introduced me to investing, and I have been investing consciously since then. I've used it to get some things that I wanted in the short term, and now I'm investing more long term towards my pension and towards my kids' futures. So that is what my goal is. And so I've taken time to do a lot of research on investments and on the various types of investment: treasury bills, bonds, stocks, mutual funds, pension funds, savings accounts, and even new businesses. So I had quite a bit of knowledge in the field, and I felt it would be a good idea to share that knowledge, because for a long time we've always had this hush when it comes to finances, and it's something that helps not just us individually but our families. It helps create a good and positive relationship with money, and that also helps our countries in the long run. And I think if we're able to become better with money and learn how to take proper care of money, not just think of the here and now, we'll be able to create more wealth and generate more wealth, which will help make everybody live a more convenient and a better life. So that is the reason behind my decision to create this video. I've had this channel for a very long time. I just use it to watch videos, and I created it not long ago. Mostly thought I would use it for live travel, because I used to travel a lot before the coronavirus, and share about careers, how to get into your foot into the room, how to apply for schools outside the country, what to do when you are outside the country, and those common information that especially I needed and I couldn't find online anywhere. I thought it would be good to create that information for my sisters who are also going to go and go through that, and also for just anybody else who, like me, needed that information or need that information at a point in time. So yeah, I hope it's helpful. I think in my next video I'll go into the government investments, which is the treasury bills and the bonds, especially for Ghana. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you think the next video should be about. I'm just trying to share as much knowledge and wisdom as I can around investment, because I think it's something we really need to take more seriously and discuss about as a people, because we could generate a lot more wealth than we are even thinking. There's so much money you can save just by being a little bit thoughtful and careful and responsible with your spending. And that's something I'm hoping to achieve for myself, and also use this platform to encourage others to achieve. And yeah, so that's that. If there's anything that you would like to see specifically, please let me know in the comments below, and please feel free to share this with your friends, with your family. I'm not really comfortable with being in the face, like being not in the face, being in front of people so much. But I feel like this is something that needs to be said. This is something that needs to be discussed. This is something that needs to be taught. So I'm hoping in my little way I can contribute, and we can all learn from each other and help each other out. So if you have any other ideas, please do let me know. And if not, I'll see you in my next video, either I think most likely next week. I think video once a week is enough for me because I have quite a bit to do myself at work. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll catch you again on my next video. Bye.